Hello everyone, I'm going to be teaching you how to create sprite sheets for Blender, game engine, and Gimp. This is my character. He's called a Cyber Baby. And as you can see, I already have a grid set up in Gimp. And I'll be giving you a walkthrough of how to make this. So let's open up a new project. I like to start out with 16 by 16 pixels. So just select that and then type in 16 by 16. Later on we're going to make this 64 by 64, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. So we end up with a scene that is very, very, very small. And it is. It's 16 by 16 pixels. So let's select the magnifying glass, or the zoomer tool, and go over, click and drag what you want to see. You can see a lot. Press and hold Control key to minimize, and then just click without holding anything to make it bigger or smaller. Now, to make this look a little bit easier for us to work with, we're going to go into the View button, or the View menu, and then go to Show Grid. You should see something that's not what we want, so go to Image, and then look for Configure Grid. Set this to 1 pixel, and then it should automatically select both width and height. Press OK. Now we've got a pretty good grid. Each one of these is 1 pixel, and we're going to use the pencil tool to draw out our sprites. And then over here you can see the different brushes that you can draw with. Of course, with 1 pixel you're not going to see much at all. So, shouldn't have to change that. Change the size to 1, because we want to be drawing in each one of these squares and not drawing all 16 or whatever. It should already be set. So as you can see, you can draw out. I'm going to Control Z to undo this, and as you can see, you can have fun creating lots of different little characters for your game. Okay. The eraser brush, or tool, we're going to set this to 1, and this one we need to set to the pixel, else it's going to be, well, erasing differently than what we want. This is what it's set to normally, and we don't want that. I mean, some sprites will want that, but not this one. So we're going to set the hard edge so it totally removes it. As you can see, of course I didn't. Okay. What I did here was I created a new layer so we can draw on top of this white surface. So later on we can just remove that and we'll be left with this. We'll have a transparent background, which we'll use in Blender, so you can see behind the character, hopefully. So let's get started creating a character. Okay. Here we go, this is the fun stuff. Let's see here. We're going to start out with my character's antennas, because they're pretty easy to start with, hopefully. Yeah. Remember to use that eraser tool. I'm sorry if I switch back and forth between my projects. It's really hard to get perfect. Oh, actually, that's right. Oh, yeah. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. A very delicate process. In this video I'm just going to show you the basics of animation, or maybe the sprite sheet. Then I might go over the animation. I don't know, we'll see how far I get. Now, I'm going to change the color, because I'm pretty sure this is the exact same character that I created earlier. Yes, I created this multiple different times. So I want kind of a dark brownish hair kind of color. I'm going to use the fill tool to make this easier, supposedly. There we go. Yeah. I'm also going to fill in the eyes with white. And then for the eye color, I kind of like this character to have a dark greenish. You can use the pencil tool to draw that in. There we go. That is my basic character. Now we're going to scale it up. Go to Image, Canvas Size, 64 by 64. There we go. As you can see, the character is very, very small. So we're going to scale it up using the scale tool. And since it's the exact same size as the character is, we are going to just make it 64 by 64. And then it's going to get really, really blurry. This is where you get to have the fun of filling in all those spots. The blurred parts of the character. So for this I like to click once, hold shift, and then it'll draw a line over to wherever you click. At this point you really have to remember that you're trying to draw pixels, but they're really, really big. You can use the eyedrop tool since you already have the basic object. Click on the layer that you have the color, and then select the basic color that it looked like it was. Maybe around there. Then you can draw in right there. Okay, well, at this point, I'm just going to fill in the spots since I already told you the basics, and I'll come back to you whenever I'm done with that. Okay, hopefully you've reached this point. So, we're going to work on the eyes this time. What I've found out with the higher quality is you can almost make the eyes kind of roundish, but they're still going to be blocky. So we're going to use, well, first we're going to fill in the background with white, as usual. And we're going to use the pencil tool, and we're going to select two different colors. I like the eye pupil to be kind of darker than the iris. So let's see here. It's kind of a dark color like that. And then we're going to go with a lighter green. Or something like that. And then just put the lighter color around the eyes. Gives a neat look to it. Kind of robotic-like. Might as well just fill in the other one more in here. Okay, so now we have the basic character. Yay! Yeah. So, well, now what we need to do is create an animation. So we're going to create what's called a sprite sheet. And a sprite sheet is multiple images stuck in one picture. And then whatever game engine you're using cycles through and selects which image to display on screen. Also, you can create sprite indexes for texturing, but that's a different tutorial. So we're going to go to image, we're going to go to canvas size, and since we're only going to create 2 images right now, well, this one's going to be standing animation. So I'm just going to hit the multiplication symbol and 2. So now we have it side by side. So now we're going to use the grid again, but instead of having it so small, we are going to change it to 32 by 32. No wait. 64 by 64. Until it looks, yeah. Why did I zoom in? Yeah, like that. The size of your image. Yeah, Blender can handle that. We're going to duplicate that, and then we're going to use the Move tool. And I like to select Move the Active Layer. And then you can move it around freely, or you can hit the Control, and then it'll either go kind of snapping diagonal, or horizontal, or vertical. Okay. I added on a little bit too much. I went crazy with the pixel. This is where the eyedropper comes in handy. Hey, fixed it. Oh. There we go. Now they're identical. Mostly. Now we're going to create this as a standing animation, which I just use it as like the mouth opening and closing like it's breathing. So zoom over to the mouth, and this is going to be a fairly simple animation. Remember that shift, people. The mouth, I like to have like 2 or 3 different colors. Kind of a pinkish, a dark pink for the tongue. Something like that. Yeah. So now we have a basic animation of the mouth opening and closing. Yeah. Okay. Okay, now what we're going to do is export it. Usually save it so you can come back and just open it up again. I'm going to name this Crybaby Test Sprite She1001.png. Just leave it as default. Now we're going to open up Blender. And I'm just going to hit the number 2 key and go to the second layer. Press Shift and then A to open up the Add Object menu. Add in a plane. Hit the Tab key. Press A to select all or deselect all. And then press the U to unwrap. And then I'm going to drag over in this corner, just down. And then I'm going to open up the UV image editor. We're going to open, and then find wherever you put your image. We're going to go on the icon view. There's our little image. And then I'm going to press the In button. And then we're going to set the input color space to VD16. We're going to do pre-multiply. I'm going to press Alt and Z, and then we're going to see either white or black. So I'm going to set the material of this object. I'm going to set it to shadeless so we can see our image. And I'm going to put in a new texture, select the one we just imported, and then there we go. Now we can see our object, but it's not tiling, it's displaying both of them. So we're going to select Animated and Tiles. There are 2 over, so now it sees that there are 2 different images here. Now, we're going to set the endpoint to 1. Because it always thinks that the first one is 0, and then it goes on to 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth. We're going to set this to 8, as the speed to 8. Let's see here. Make sure you're set to Blender Game Engine and GLSL. And there we go. Hit the play button, and as you can see, it's doing that. There is no transparency. As you can see, there's a white border around my character. So we can fix that by going into the Material tab, and then Face Textures and Face Textures Alpha. Set transparency to Z transparency. Go all the way down to 0. We totally lost the image, but don't worry. Then we'll go over to the Texture tab, and then we'll select Alpha. And now we have a high quality, okay looking animation. And that's the basics of
well, creating a sprite for a game engine. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and hopefully I'll be making more soon. Thanks for watching.